from the NewsChannel 5 network, this is Sportsline.
Hey there, Sportsline on your television. Steve Layman here with you. Glad you are here with us on NewsChannel 5. Plus, the Titans season is over. Came to an end in the AFC Championship, best playoff run in 17 seasons for this franchise, but it did end 35-24 in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium at the hands of the Chiefs on Sunday afternoon. The Chiefs grabbed the Lamar Hunt Trophy, named after their late owner, for the first time in franchise history as AFC champions, and they head on to Super Bowl 54 in Miami a week and a half from now against the 49ers out of the NFC. The last time Kansas City was in the Super Bowl, the 1969 season. So the postseason in 1970, 50 years ago, Super Bowl IV. And that was the last Super Bowl contested between the AFL and NFL before the leagues merged and it became the AFC and the NFC. So a monumental day for Chiefs fans in the city of Kansas City on Sunday. Unfortunately, at the expense of the Titans, who go down 35-24 in this great postseason run that really captured the city, captured all our imaginations, comes to an end one step shy of getting back to the Super Bowl for just the second time in franchise history. Would love to hear from you tonight. Our phone lines are open, 737-7767, the number. Your thoughts on the way this season ended, what you saw from the Titans in this playoff run, either individually or collectively, what you thought about the game on Sunday against the Chiefs and how the season ended. And we can also get into a little bit of a look forward as well. So now the Titans have done this, what's to expect as we move towards 2020? 737-7767, the number if you'd like to join in on the program tonight. The goal all season was to go from good to great. And I would argue that in the regular season, there was no great. No part of this looked like taking a step in that direction. Certainly not when the team was 2-4. As a matter of fact, last week, Mike Vrabel said the team was bad at that point. He was doing a bad job coaching. They were doing a bad job playing. The switch came to Ryan Tannehill. The offense got going, started scoring 13 more points per game than they did in the first 6 weeks of the season. Then the team got going and won 7 of the final 10 games to get to 9-7 and ultimately get into the playoffs. But there was nothing about the end of the season. While it was good, there was nothing about the end of the season that looked like a true contender. It was good enough to get into the playoffs. That's nice. But there was nothing that looked like a true contender. But there was something that flipped with this team when they went to Houston in Week 17 and the playoffs were on the line. A must-win game, a do-or-die road game against a division opponent that had won or clinched the division already. Something flipped right there with that team. The us against the world mentality, the road warriors mentality, whatever it was, the Titans played their best football in the postseason. They go down to Houston and cruise 35-14 as Derrick Henry wins the rushing title. They go to New England and knock out the defending Super Bowl champions. Maybe the final game for Tom Brady. Maybe the final game of that dynasty. The Titans did what no other team had done in 8 seasons, and that's win a playoff game at Gillette Stadium. People maybe started to believe then, but still they were double-digit underdogs in Baltimore against the Ravens team that went 14-2 and had the best record in the NFL this year. Nobody gave them a chance. Nobody gave them a chance that they could go in and truly win that game. And they control it. It's 28-12. They take Lamar Jackson out of it. Derrick Henry runs all over the Ravens defense, and they move on to the AFC Championship for the first time since the 2002 season. And then in Kansas City, look, Patrick Mahomes is incredible. That Chiefs offense is impossible to stop. We've seen that the last couple of weeks. But it's hard to fault the game plan or the effort from Tennessee. You go in, you score on the opening drive. You score on your first 3 possessions to take a 10-0 lead and then a 17-7 lead after the Chiefs got on the board. Unfortunately, there was a dry spell there in the middle of the game. The huge back-breaking play before halftime when Mahomes scrambled, was able to beat Rashaan Evans to the sideline, and then run through the arm tackle of Tremaine Brock near the goal line and into the end zone. That 27-yard touchdown changed the complexion of the game. Because if the Titans were up 17-14 at the half, I think it's just a different mindset as you enter the second half. Even if the Chiefs would score on their opening drive, you're only down by 4. You just feel like you can stick with your offense and plow ahead with Derrick Henry. But instead, when Mahomes scored, all of a sudden the Chiefs led at the break after a half in which, frankly, Tennessee was the better team. They got a stop on Kansas City to start the second half. There was no points on that drive. But Kansas City took more than 5 minutes off the clock there. Then the Titans had a time-consuming drive in which they drove the field but didn't get any points themselves. And that's when Kansas City went on a 7-minute drive that went into the fourth quarter, and Damian Williams scored a touchdown to go up 28-17. That stretch there, the Titans had the ball for like 3 total minutes in the first 16 minutes of the second half. And the deficit went from 21-17, and that was only because of the Mahomes run at the end of the half, to 28-17. And now all of a sudden you're down 2 scores. It's an 11-point game in the fourth quarter. And your entire mindset shifts then. And I think they maybe went away from Henry a little bit too soon. I think you could have stuck with him and tried to plow ahead with him because he had been effective. But they went to the air because you're down 2 scores and it's the AFC Championship and the season's on the line and you've got to get back in the game. You've got to put up points. And it didn't work. And then all of a sudden the Chiefs score again, and it's 35-17, and the game is over at that point. It was a frustrating second half for a Tennessee team that had played so well for a month. And now you see where they go from here. 737-7767 is the number. We would love to hear from you guys tonight. Call us up, be a part of the show. We'll take it wherever you want to go. We'll get to that when we come back. Our phone lines are completely open. We'll do that. And we'll hear from some of the players as well as the season comes to an end. We'll get to that when we come back right after this. This is Sportsline on News Channel 5+.